subject of the shiur is the custom of Rosh Hashanah. We all know that in Rosh Hashanah, there is a custom that we dip the bread in sugar. The Ashkenazi dip it in honey. Why I say Ashkenazi? Because according to Kabbalah, the Kabbalistics say that you should not dip the bread in honey. It's rather to do it with sugar. Nachon, Rabbi Avraham? By the way, we have a special visitor from Eretz HaKodesh. Rabbi Avraham is doing a special work. I'll explain to it just now. If anyone can assist, it will be a great mitzvah. So, we know that we should dip the bread in sugar, in honey. So we all know that it's for a sweet new year. But there's many things, there's one important thing, not many, one important thing that many people forget. That number one should be salt on the table. There's many people that doesn't leave salt on the table. You know that. Not only that the same bread that we dip in honey and in sugar, we should also dip it in a salt. You know that. So we all know what's the... Sorry? Jojo, I didn't hear. You didn't know that. Okay, so Baruch Hashem, you know. So the idea is, why do we dip it in salt? What should be salt on the table, number one? So Stephen said, the korbanot, the same like was in the time of Beit HaMikdash. When they used to sacrifice on the altar, the sacrifices, they used to salt them. Nachon, Stephen? Nachon? Is that the only reason? No. Why dafka then salt? Why do you put salt in a korban? Why is it so important to have salt?
Because of the sea.
Huh?
The sea.
The sea?
The salt comes from the sea.
No. No.
When Bereshit, when Hashem was creating the heaven and earth,
No.
He gathered all the seas together. They had the time that came to Hashem with the flame. So Hashem said, all right, because they felt they were left out. They were left out of it. Hashem said, okay, then you will be on our Mizbeach. You, the salt, which is the epitome of the sea, will be on the Mizbeach.
But many other things he done. He joined together the Shammai, the heaven, the earth. You remember we done a special show about the 7 continents. So, and he split it later on. We brought the Zohar that explain us at heaven. There's more important to it. So I saw that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai brings something very interesting. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai say in a Zohar. He wrote the book of the Zohar, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. By the way, the book of Zohar been written around 2,000 years ago. Just for us to understand where it was, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai explained why the dafka salt have to be on the table. So he explained there that because the salt megaresh המזיקים והמקטרגים. I'm going to translate it. מזיקים is the demon. That means, especially on Rosh Hashanah, we don't want the demon to be. Not only that, mekatregim, those that criticize against us. So when we put salt on the table, not only on Rosh Hashanah, all year around, they don't have a permission to come to our table. And that's the same thing that we bring the korban. Because what's the position of the korban? What's the purpose of the korban if you look at it? The korban, if a person done a sin, he bring a sacrifice, and Hazal explained that when he see what's happening to the korban, that's actually what's supposed to happen to him. But when he see what's happened to him, should happen to him, that will help him not to do again the same sin. You understand?
What about the other korban of Shlamim?
There is korban shlamim, korban todah. That's thanks. But in general, we do that. Why is that? That even when you come to bring a Thanksgiving korban, you listening, Stephen? That even those demons not going to have any ahiza, any holding to that korban. You understand? So the main idea that we should have in Rosh Hashanah, Rabota, it's very important, that we should have salt on the table. Okay? Everyone according to his tradition. You dip it in honey, you dip it in sugar, whatever the case is. Make sure that you have salt on the table.
If I may ask a question, what does salt got to do with demons and...
Like I explained, the demon.
Doesn't like salt.
Not only that, I'll tell you something more. You know the hyssop. Hyssop, if you have any witchcrafting, Hazal tell us, when I say Hazal, I'm referring to Chachmei Kabbalah, that there is no witchcrafting can work if you have on your table hyssop. And hyssop in Hebrew it's called za'atar. The salt doesn't allow them to come to the table because it's strong, the salt. Salt absorbs everything, salt remove the demon. It's against them, especially the salt. You follow? That's the main reason that we use salt on the table. And that's what they use, salt, also on the Mizbeach and the Korbanot. So now we understand that, I don't know how many of you have that tradition. Make sure that you have salt on the table. Yes?
For clarity, are we saying that we should dip it into, salt?
Yes. I'll get to it. So the Sfaradim, the minhag of the Sfaradim is to dip it in sugar and then to dip it with salt, a little bit with salt. Why? I'm going to get to it. In Rosh Hashanah, we're not allowed to eat, and I'm going to bring what the Gaon Mivilna say. That we're not allowed to eat anything sour, salty, spicy, bitter thing on Rosh Hashanah. I'm going to bring the pasuk from the Navi Nehemiah that said that we should eat only sweet thing. Now I'm going to get to it. And I'm going to get to everything and then you'll understand. So the minhag is to have sugar on the table, definitely to dip the bread in honey or in sugar, whatever the custom is. If your custom is to dip it in salt, dip it with salt. If not, as long as you have salt on the table. That's the most important. That's what Hazal tell us. Yes, Louis?
Why sugar, not honey?
Okay. Because honey, it's calm, very good. I don't think that I'll manage to get to everything then tonight. It says, וכל שעור וכל דבש לא תקריבו ממנו אישה לאדוני. That's in the spices, פרשת הקורבנות. Okay? You remember פרשת הקורבנות that you say in the morning? So Hazal tell us that when it's come to the korbanot, parashat korbanot, you're not allowed to bring on a mizbeach honey. Why dafka honey? Kol se'or. Se'or, I understand. Se'or is what we call yeast. But why not honey? Ivan, you agree with me? Honey is a sweet thing. It's a nice thing. Because honey, if you put it on a fire, Hazal explained, what do you see? Bubbles. It just bubbles. Nothing beside bubbles. Did you put ever honey on top of the stove? You'll see big bubbles that show arrogancy, proud. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't like people that they're arrogant. You understand? But from the other way, he doesn't want you to be too sweet. He doesn't want you to be too sour. It has to do with Kabbalah. You follow? But that's the main idea. That honey, it's a lot of show off. There's nothing underneath. Because as you put the fire down, all the bubbles come down. It's about arrogancy. And especially on Rosh Hashanah, that the main idea that the person have, the main job of Rosh Hashanah, and we explained that previous year, שימליך עליו את הקדוש ברוך הוא. That a person should understand that the Almighty, that is King. That means that he should work on a character trait, midat ha'anava, especially on Rosh Hashanah, to be more humble. You follow? That's the main reason. Okay, so we have a minhag to eat sweet thing in Rosh Hashanah. We all know about it. This minhag comes that when you eat it, we have to understand who told us that. The prophet Nehemiah, Navi Nehemiah. The Navi Nehemiah say in chapter 8, verse 10, he brings the source to it. That's where Hazal learned that. לכו אכלו משמנים ושתו ממתקים, כי גדול היום לאדוני. The Prophet Nehemiah tells us that in a Yom Tov, especially Rosh Hashanah, that it's a special day for us, that's a day of judgment, we should show that we're happy. But gilu bir'ada. What it means, gilu bir'ada? We should be happy, but we should have the fear of heaven on top of us. That means we mustn't lose our head. Not like other nations, that in their New Year, they're getting drunk. They don't know what they're doing. We're the opposite. In Rosh Hashanah, in our New Year's, we're saying that there is someone above us. Who's that? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So nachon that we have to eat sweet thing. And the main reason for it, that we should have a sweet year all around. But also, ki gadol hayom laHashem. That means that that day is very important, very special day. We should act with the code of fear of heaven. That we should understand that in that day, the entire world gets judged. There is no one that doesn't get judged. Not only human being. That we say it. Eze medina lahereb. Which country, has v'shalom, will have a war? Lo aleinu. Everyone gets judged on that day. So we should be very much in Rosh Hashanah, as much that we're supposed to be happy, we're not supposed to be sad. Not only that, the Mekubalim say it's not good to cry. But they come and tell us, if a person suddenly feels that he want to cry, that means that he's been judged at that moment. That is judgment. So as much that we obligated to be in happiness in Rosh Hashanah, to be happy, we have an obligation to remember to have the fear of heaven on top of us. Okay, the most important thing is the symbol. We all have symbol on the table, nachon? We have 5 fruit and vegetables that the 2 different Gemarot tell us. And I'm going to bring the 2 Gemarot, but I'm going to bring the Gemara in Masechet Horayot. Okay, the Gemara in Masechet Horayot, chapter 12, verse 1. Folio 1. And the Gemara also in Masechet Kritot, page 6, folio 1, tell us about the symbol that we have on the table. Everyone understand what I'm referring to? Okay. So let's see what it said. I'm going to bring what Abaye said. Abaye said, Ashadad de'amar tzimana miltahi. I'm going to translate it, obviously, the Aramaic to English. Yehe ragil inche. למאכל ראשיתה קרה, רוביה, קרטה, סילקה ותמרה. Abaye, a person should get used and should have in Rosh Hashanah, in a day of Rosh Hashanah, to eat kara. What is kara? It's a pumpkin. Then he said rubia. Rubia is beans. What we call it lubia. Why the Arabic language for it, lubia, not rubia? The difference between them that they can't say rubia. But what it means rubia, milshon ribui, to multiply. Karte, that's a leek. Silka, it's a spinach. Tamre is a date. Those are the 5 things that the Gemara tell us that we have to do. Everyone can see in the mahzorim what we have to see before we eat it. We're going to get when to eat it, when is the custom to eat it. But I want to go a bit more. We all know that beside... Sorry. Wait, I'll get to it. Tapuach bidvash. We know that there is other symbol that we eat on Rosh Hashanah. And they are, like Moti mentioned, tapuach bidvash, rimon, that it's a pomegranate. Nachon? There is other custom that you should eat carrot. There is some that eat rosh el keves, a head of a sheep. There is some people that eat fish. Where is those customs come from? Not only that, there is some people that eat a new fruit on Rosh Hashanah. Nachon? Sorry? Second night, first night, whatever. But there is a custom. It doesn't say it in the Gemarot. Where does it come from? That's my question. Shehianu anyway, you say? Huh? Sorry? One long day, yeah. Nachon. But wait. Before we go there, let's just try to understand one thing, then we move to Shehianu. The idea is, the Gemara tells us 5 vegetables and fruit. There is actually 1 fruit, the rest is vegetable, the rest 4. Where does it come that we should eat pomegranate, carrot, fish? Where does it come from? You understand what I'm saying? Where does that custom come? Hazal wouldn't tell us just do that. So the apple dipped in honey, the Taz, Rabbi David Levy, actually Rabbi David Shmuel Levy, he wrote a commentary on the Shulchan Aruch. And he explained the Shulchan Aruch. A person that learned Shulchan Aruch without the Taz couldn't find himself. And he actually said that, where do we learn that we have to eat dafka apple? Why did you choose a fruit that's called apple? So the Zohar say, tapuhim kadishim. What does it mean, tapuhim kadishim? It's a bit more depth. I'm going to explain it because I don't understand nothing about Kabbalah. But I'll explain it what I can read. So Hazal explained why dafka the tapuah. Because there is a mahloket amongst the sages, which fruit Adam HaRishon eaten from Eitz Hadat? What was Eitz Hadat? One of them said that it was etrog, nachon, Rabbi Avraham. One of them said it was tapuah. There's a mahloket there between the sages. So what, because Adam HaRishon eaten tapuah, I must eat tapuah? No. Because there is a symbol on a tapuah, Rabotai. Why did Hazal tell us tapuah? The tapuah, there is something special about it. That's the apple. That the apple actually the fruit grow before the leaf. Did you know that? It starts to grow before the leaf. התפוח גודל לפני העלה. Why is that? And Hazal say, what is that? So because it's grow before, that's enough reason to eat תפוח in Rosh Hashanah? He said no. What did Bnei Israel say when they received the Torah? Na'aseh v'nishma. First we'll do, then nishma. That means they didn't ask what you have in your Torah like the other nation. First we'll do what you tell us, and then we'll listen what there is in the Torah. So it's the same with the tapuah, to tell us, to show that the same like Bnei Israel was first to accept the Torah, and then to ask what the Torah tells, what it entails. The same with the tapuah. Do you understand? It's a bit more depth. Okay. Then come the pomegranate. The pomegranate and the fish. Rabbi David Abu Darham, he brought that custom. And he said that the main reason that we're eating pomegranate, and the main reason that we're eating, sit there, Gordon, sit there. That we're eating pomegranate and fish symbol the multiply. No one see the fish. That we should have a year that there is no ayn hara, no evil eye on us. Because they're under the water, no one see them. So we should multiply the same like the fish. The pomegranate, there is many opinions about that. I'm going to bring quick 2. I don't want to go to all of them. There's many. Because there is so many pips and they join together that we should have so many mitzvot one after each other. The other opinion that we should live in peace and harmony, the Jewish people, one with each other, with no variable. The third one, and I heard that, but it's not confirmed, because I heard it from few people that tried to do that test, that they opened the pomegranate and said that there is 613 pips inside, and that symbol the 600 and the Taryag mitzvot that we have. I personally didn't test that. Those are the 3 opinions why we're eating them. Then, the Magen Avraham bring that we should eat carrot. Nachon? You know all of that. Now I'm going to get to easy. Easy ask, Shehianu, a new fruit. we should do it not on the first day, we should do it on a second day, nachon? Because we have to say Shehayanu on both nights. So the custom is, like Easy mentioned, that to keep the new fruit for the second night and to say Shehayanu. Because on the first night anyway we say Shehayanu. But, here comes the but, easy. That usually in Rosh Hashanah people wear new clothes. To have in mind also Yotzei Yedei Chovah, the new clothes that you wear in Rosh Hashanah. You follow, easy? When should we eat the symbol? That's the question that everyone asks. So, there is many custom about it. Should we eat it before we do the motzi or after? We do the kiddush. Nachon? First we do kiddush. So there is a custom, some people say, immediately after the kiddush you should eat. There is a mahloket. Some people say it's not a good idea. You know why? Because you might gonna come safek brachot. That means if you eat more than kazait, you have to do bracha achrona. It's no good. Other people say no. Rather do kiddush, do hamotzi, and then eat, and then you don't have any problem. So now I see that Hazal, the poskim say which fruit you should eat first. So the most common one, Rav Ovadia Yosef, Zecher Tzadi v'Kadosh Livracha, say that you should eat first the dates. Why? Why is that? Because we all know that Eretz Israel, it's one of the 7 species that Eretz Israel nishtapha b'hem. That's one of the fruit that Eretz Israel got blessed by it. That's the main idea that we should start with it, Mara. But there is more depth to it. There's other explanation that Shitamu. That means that when we say that special prayer there, that we want to get rid of all the special enemies that we have. When we say enemies, it's the demon. That's one of the explanations. So everyone according to his minhag, but just remember that if you decide to do the brachot before Motzi, straight after the Kiddush, be careful not to eat kazait. Because otherwise you have to be obligated to say the bracha achrona, birkat haniyani. You follow?
כל מה שהוא הרב, אם אוכל את זה אחרי המוציא, אסור לו לברך על הירקות.
נכון.
אז זה חלק מהסעודה.
I forgot that to mention. That, shakוח, Rabbi Abraham. If a person eat after he done the motzi, he can't say bore pri adama. Sorry? No, bore pri adama, rubia.
I thought you meant for the apple.
Sorry, I'm not with you.
I thought you were talking about the apple, sorry.
No, but if you say that the tamar, what do you say about tamar? Bore pri ha'etz. You can't say the same thing. Even that you eat, if you say brocha bore pri ha'etz on a tamar, and now you still have in mind, or even if you don't have in mind, there is a kula, that you want to eat apple that's also bore pri ha'etz, you don't repeat. Safek brachot le'akel. You follow? So if you say already, you don't repeat it. Okay. So that's the two opinions. Now I'm going to get to the most important, what the Rama say. Rama, Rabbi Moshe Isherlish. He said in Simam Taf Kuf Pei Gimel. That means 583 chapter. That the person should not eat egoz berosh Hashanah. Egoz, gematria, het. But, lo male, lo benikud male. What does it mean? That the gematria of egoz, everyone understand what is egoz? No. Egoz is nuts. Like a pecan nut, you know? All of those nuts. Hazelnut. You should not eat in Rosh Hashanah. Why? Because the Rama explained that the gematria of the word is het. We don't want to mention sin. Not only that, I see another explanation why dafka goes. Why? Because you find that the gematria is het, you're not allowed to eat. It's not so simple. The Rama explained, and many of the other Mefarshim explain why you should not eat nuts on Rosh Hashanah. Because nuts created a lot of phlegm. And when you daven in Rosh Hashanah, you want the davening to go smoothly. And if you have a phlegm, it's very difficult that the prayer will go smooth. So Hazal tell us, and the Mefarshim, should not eat egos beRosh Hashanah. So there's two reasons. Number one, gematria het, that it's a sin. Number two, that you should not have phlegm, and it's going to cause you a bit of a problem with the davening. Because the davening of Rosh Hashanah should go smoothly. Okay.
So does that mean if any other food causes you phlegm, you shouldn't eat that either?
Absolutely. But usually nuts cause it. Absolutely, no problem. Now I'm going to get to the Gaon Mivilna. The Gaon Mivilna, and also it's bringing according to the Kabbalistic. So from here we know that the Gaon Mivilna was a giant in Kabbalah. Listen what he said. A person should not eat any fruit or any vegetables that the color is black. And now listen what he said. Because it was a custom that people should put, when they bake a challah, there is a custom to put, no? Sorry? No. What do you put in a halot when we buy? No? Raisin. That's it. So he said that you should not have a dark raisin. Light raisin, it's okay, but not dark. Not only that he said that in Rosh Hashanah, you should not eat not only raisin, not only dark grapes, okay? Also not a brinjal. So now, why? Because the brinjal covered with a black shell, נכון? So מה יעשה עיראקי? What the Babylonian do? All their fruit is with that. All their food. They peel it, נכון, Rabbi Avraham? They peel the shell of the brinjal, cut it, and then they can cook with it. Because the inside is white.
What's the difference between a dark raisin and light raisin?
Oh, what's the difference? What's the difference? Shirkoa, Rabbi, Roberto.
Raisin's a raisin.
Raisin is a raisin. The Gaon Mivilna say, what is the idea? That our sin should be white. What it means should be white? That all our sin will turn. What is a sin? It's symbol black. That you done a sin. Don't mention your sin. Rather eat something light. Because all the symbol of Rosh Hashanah is to change, to ask for forgiveness. Don't remind that you done sin. Don't show anything that mention that you done any averot. You understand? That's the idea. There is another custom, the tashlich. Everyone remember tashlich? Tashlich. What is tashlich? Why do we do tashlich? Where is it come, the custom of tashlich? Okay, so tashlich we say on the first day of Rosh Hashanah. Except if Rosh Hashanah, the first day is Shabbos, we don't do tashlich. We do on the second day. Okay. What is tashlich? We go to a place, if it's a sea, a river, a place that is water with fish, and there we ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu, basically, that we're throwing our sin to forgive us. That we regret for all of that. There is what the Hidar wrote there. We'll see when you read it. It's a long one. It is a special prayer that we have to say. Where is that custom come from? Did you ask yourself? Why dafka sea? Why dafka water? Why dafka fish? Why I can't stand and say tashlich outside? Why dafka I have to go to a sea if I'm near a sea? That means if I'm living on a coast, I can go by the sea and I can say tashlich. You understand me? Easy. Why dafka? Why I can't stand outside like I'm doing birkat alvana and do tashlich? Leavdil. Why do I have to go to water where there is fish, a river? Why so special about it? Do you understand the question, Rabotai? Did you ask yourself that question? You know, we do every year tashlich. We don't ask ourselves, where does those customs come from? Do you understand me, Philip? Anyone have any idea? No. I'm going to bring 3 opinions. Why dafka tashlich? And it has to be dafka where there is water. So I'm going to start with Yitzhak Avinu. Akedat Yitzhak. Everyone understand Akedat Yitzhak? When Yitzhak been taken, Yitzhak Avinu, taken by his father Avraham Avinu to be sacrificed to the Almighty. That's called Akedat Yitzhak. Hazal tell us that it was in Rosh Hashanah. Akedat Yitzhak הייתה בראש השנה, to some opinion. What's happened? When Avraham Avinu took Yitzhak Avinu to Har HaMoriah, on the way, he gone through a valley, and the valley was full of water. And what happened there? That when Avraham Avinu crossed that valley, it was full with water, the water reached up to his neck. Avraham Avinu said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hoshia Hashem, ki ba'u mayim ad nafesh. That means that the water reached until my soul. I'm soon going to die. Help me. And Hazal said that water, you know who it was? The Satan. He turned himself to water to see if Avraham Avinu will cross through the water, and he was willing to be so determined to fulfill the mitzvah. And when he done it, HaKadosh Baruch Hu chased away the Satan. So in that memory, in that merit, we go into HaKadosh Baruch Hu and say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please Almighty, remember what Avraham Avinu was willing to do to Yitzhak. He crossed through that valley, and the water reached up to where? To his neck. To his chin, that's the right word to say. And that merit, please, forgive our sin, and we can throw it to the water, and we'll never see them. That's one opinion. The other opinion, that we, like a fish. The fish in the water is happy. They think that they're free. They think that they're untouchable. Nachon? Until the fishermen come and he throw the net, and whoops, they're all in the net. To tell us in Rosh Hashanah, do tashlich. Get rid of all your sin. That you think that you're free, you can live forever. You ask everyone, I'll live forever. If you ask a person, will he die? No one thinks that he'll ever die. He's immortal. When you go by the fish, remember the same lag the fisherman can take up and hook and caught the fish, same us. HaKadosh Baruch Hu can do it any second. Chas v'shalom. So we ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu to forgive our sin, but also to remember that we like a fish. The third opinion, and that I saw a beautiful opinion, why dafka a sea? Did you ask yourself, a sea, why dafka a sea? Water I understand, because we explained that it was Avraham Avinu, and he crossed through the valley, and the water reached to his chin, he hardly breathed. I understand, but why dafka sea? Hazal tell us, אדם רואה את גבורתו של הקדוש ברוך הוא, את גבורתו של הבורא, בים. What does it mean? A human being can see the glory, the power of HaKadosh Baruch Hu where? On a sea. Why? And Hazal explained that כל גל שבא לעולם, the Gemara say, he said, I'm going to destroy the world. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created little grain. What are they? Sand. That's going to stop you. That means that when we see the power of the sea, we realize the power of the Creator. And when we understand that there is a Creator to the world, that He can do everything, and in His power, we understand the power of the sea. It's nothing compared to the power of the Almighty. We understand the fear of heaven. So the main idea of Rosh Hashanah is to crown HaKadosh Baruch Hu. to make him king over us. Rabbi, I would like to bless all of you that you should all have Shana Tova, not only Shana Tova, that will be full of brachot to all of you, prosperity, we'll have peace in the world, we have a year of health and wealth, Parnasa Tova, bracha, to all of you and all your family. I just would like to mention, next week, we're not going to have a show. My son getting married on Thursday. So thank you very much. So thanks first of all to Russell and where's Norman? Norman, thank you for allowing to share, because next week was supposed to be Russell, but I can't make it because it's just before the wedding of my son, so you don't mind if we're not going to have it. Also, we're going to have shiur on Shabbat. And after that, I'm going to take a break because it's going to be during the Sheva Brachot of my son. So you will excuse me. We're going to have a break. And maybe during the Hagim, we'll have a shiurim that it's going to mention. Yes, David, you wanted to ask.
The custom of visiting the cemetery.
Sorry?
That's the cemetery.
The custom to go, שולחים לבית העלמין בחודש אלול.
Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. מנהג קדושים הוא. It's very important.
ערב ראש השנה,
Also in Erev Rosh Hashanah,
ערב כיפור.
Erev Kippur. Also, we explain that a person should do pidyon nefesh. Remember we spoke about pidyon nefesh last week. It's very good to ask forgiveness and to ask the deceased to daven for us, to ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu for forgiveness. You understand for us? That's very important. That's very important custom. So remember, we explained, that I didn't mention, Yeshakah David, about this custom to go to the cemetery. But Rabotai, remember, Erev Rosh Hashanah, please don't forget. And I'm going to bring what Rabbi Chaim Vital say. You remember I brought it last week. Ivan, you wasn't with us. You was? Okay, so remember that for those of you that didn't was. You want to guarantee, Rabbi Chaim Vital, Rabotai the Maharhu, the highest student of Ari HaKadosh. That's the top student. He said, Erev Rosh Hashanah, Erev Yom Kippur, to do Pidyon Nefesh. What is a Pidyon Nefesh? It's equivalent to 10 shekel, Israeli shekel. 10 Israeli shekel, today, 38 rand. Am I right? Make it 50 rand. Each person take a 50 rand. Take a 50 rand for each member of the family, and he says, "Ze pidyon nafshi u pidyon bnei beiti." If him and his wife and his 3 kids, it's 5 times 50 rand, 250. That's pidyon nafshenu. That's all. The Maharchon say, if you do it erev Rosh Hashanah, erev Yom Kippur, he give you a guarantee, the Maharchon, to live another year. Who doesn't want another year? Guarantees. For what? For 50 rand. 50 rand. If you're too tight about it, 40 rand. 40 rand to have a year, a guarantee, another life. Erev Rosh Hashanah, that means eve of Rosh Hashanah in the morning. You can do it in the morning of Rosh Hashanah. You can do it before. Sorry, where's the money going? Shakoach, Stephen. The money going to Talmidei Chachamim.